Welcome back. I have a mid-August update on my garden. It's been a little over 3 weeks since I posted a video, and I wanted to share some successes and some challenges. And I'll start with the successes. First of all, I've had great tomatoes. I'll often eat tomatoes right off the vine, and they're kind of warm and juicy and really the best tomatoes I've ever had in my life. They taste like they're seasoned. They have, a natural seasoning of just being organically gardened and immediately fresh. I mean, the freshest you can have picking right off the vine. It's really the natural essence of a tomato off the vine is really, really wonderful. And if you haven't tried to grow tomatoes, it's really one of the easier things to grow in Michigan. Just about everyone who has a garden in Michigan grows tomatoes. I would encourage you to do so. Most of the tomatoes I've had so far are cherry tomatoes and tomatoes on the vine, but they've been excellent. And I'm very pleased with them. Although some of them have kind of bursted open, actually quite a few. And that can often happen for different reasons, but one of the main reasons is kind of inconsistent watering. Sometimes it gets a lot, sometimes it gets less. And our rain season has been such that we had a lot of rain at once in 1 month. And I think that could cause them to maybe burst. From what I've read, one of the best things you can do is to add mulch in the bottom, and that can help kind of regulate the moisture. Maybe straw or some other kind of mulch, but that's definitely what I'm gonna do from now on with my tomatoes. I've had really nice cucumbers. They look like grocery store quality cucumbers. I mean, they're beautiful looking, and they taste really great. I cut them, slice them really thin in my food processor and put them on my salads, and they're wonderful. I got a beautiful watermelon, and it's a sugar baby variety. And I actually did a video on that because that's the one thing that I wanted to work out the most was the watermelon. And I took it right off the vine, I cut right into it. The video didn't turn out well because I'm an amateur, as you can probably tell. And the audio wasn't good, it wasn't shot well. But the watermelon was delicious. It was excellent. And just warm and juicy and just so vibrant. And I also got this beautiful pumpkin that I really love. And I don't know, I might bake a pumpkin pie for a friend of mine with it. But those are the successes, and it's been really great and a joy to have those successes. Now, here are the challenges. And the challenge, when I thought about what problems might I encounter, I didn't do a ton of reading. And this is one of the reasons why I call it Trial and Error Vegetable Garden, because I wanted to show you what it's like for a beginner to kind of, see how a beginner would go about gardening and take challenges on as they come. So this is one of those challenges, and it's a major one that I didn't consider. I thought maybe groundhogs, which there are at Green Meat at my garden, and they have been eating my Brussels sprouts a little bit. Deer, which haven't been a problem at Green Meat, but are a problem other places. Rabbits, which can be a problem. Beetles. But none of those have been a major problem. My major problem has been fungal diseases. And anyone who is an expert at vegetable gardening, or has even been doing it for a couple of years, knows that this is a major issue. I didn't realize that, because in all of the other gardening I do in my business, that's very rarely a problem that I run into. But in vegetable gardening, it's a major thing. First of all, for tomatoes, you often get a blight. I guess there's different types of blight. I'm not an expert on it, but the leaves will turn yellowish, get kind of brown, darkish spots. And one of the best ways to avoid that is to make sure that the tomato plant is elevated off of the ground, cut like the bottom stems off so that none of the leaves are touching the ground, because that's how fungal diseases can transfer up into the plant. Is they live in the ground and they can get onto the leaves that way if they're laying on the ground. When it's wet out, that's a great time for fungal diseases to transfer. You really don't want to water the leaves of your tomatoes or really any other plant because fungal diseases, they love the moisture. When your tomato plants are very dense with stems. And there isn't good, they're so dense that air movement can't get through very well. It takes them longer to dry off, and that's a great time for fungal diseases to take over your plants. What happens is they can start to destroy the leaves. That kills photosynthesis, and then the production of the vegetable can stop. There are certain organic sprays that people use. One popular one is called neem oil, and another popular one is called copper. And people use those on tomatoes. I would use them up until the point where I actually see tomatoes. I have tons of tomatoes now, so I'm not going to use it. I've heard people say that it's safe. I wouldn't, but that's just my 2 cents. So as far as my watermelons go, I only got one good watermelon. I'm pretty sure I got something called downy mildew. I had the black spots on the leaves, and the watermelons, probably 15 to 20 of them I've had to throw out because they just rotted on the vine. And I think part of it might have been a mildew problem or a fungus problem. And I think another part of it might be that I didn't fertilize them properly. Like I didn't give them enough calcium and phosphorus, which the actual water, once the fruit starts to grow, you want to cut off the nitrogen and add more of the phosphorus and calcium. And I don't know that I did that enough. So I'm not sure if what I did was a fungal issue or if it was a fertilizing issue. But I'm trying something new. I have probably a good month left to see if I can grow any more watermelons. There's new flowers. There's a little tiny watermelon, so we'll see. My pumpkins got, I'm pretty sure, powdery mildew because they had a white powder on the leaves. I got one good pumpkin. I had some other ones that were rotting on the vine. It was a huge vine and really not worth keeping around, so I just got rid of the whole vine. So, and it's not that big of a deal. I got one beautiful pumpkin, and I just wanted to see if I can grow one, so I'm satisfied with that. But anyway, those are the challenges, fungal diseases. And I feel like next year what I'm going to do is I'm going to start to spray them earlier with the organic neem oil and copper before they get any fruits or vegetables on them to try to prevent any funguses. And then maybe every 7 to 10 days up until the fruits and vegetables start to grow on them. And then keep them elevated off the ground, keep good air movement coming through, and hopefully have much better success with the fungal diseases. But other than that, we'll see. I'll let you know in another month if I get some better looking carrots, if I have any success with my watermelons, and how everything else goes. So thanks so much for joining me, and I'll talk to you soon.